Hey, I'm Barry. I'm with Blackbone Nation. You can check me out on Facebook. Facebook, just Barry Mare, and I'm also on Instagram, Barry Mare Live. Thanks. Thanks for having me for once off, and thanks for letting me play on your drums. Blackbone Nation with the Couch Sessions SA. Thanks once again.
Hey.
I'm going to introduce you, so I have to do it once and then not again. So with us is Zach, LaRue, Henry, and Brendan, which was easy enough this time, which is great. Guys, you have a new EP coming out on the 17th of March on St. Paddy's Day. You're going to be releasing it at Rumours here in Joburg. In terms of the EP, it was obviously a joint effort. Who wrote the song?
It was not a joint effort.
Okay.
Except for one song. No, we had some troubles with band members coming in and out of the band. And
Brendan.
Yeah, Brendan. Brendan and I
I'm sorry.
Are pretty much the original members of the band still. We had a couple
So
of
I
drummers.
really got that completely wrong now. I decided on a name and I picked the wrong one.
LaRue is the newest of the band, but we had previous drummers and previous bass players and, work commitments and things like that. Yeah. Took them out of the band or whatever. But we kept pressing on. So I wrote songs because I did it as a full-time musician. Musician thing for a year last year. So I had the time to do it and record the songs and things like that. But one song, Brendan, Mama Said, you and I wrote together. Yeah. The next record that we're busy already with, actually, will be more of a joint effort because we've got a stable band now. For once.
Stable-ish or stable?
Stable.
Nice. I'm going to get to the rest of you guys right now, but in terms of writing the new EP that's coming out, how long did that take you to get the EP to somewhere where you decided this is the song?
We really didn't want to make it a one-year project where we write all the songs, record all the songs, and then release the album as an album. Because we're building our fan base, we're quite a new band. We're like 2.5 years old now, I think, or 2 years, around there. So what we did is we wrote a song, recorded it, released it, and then sent it to the radio stations, get some airplay, and then we did that every month, and it actually worked quite nicely.
A new song every month?
Yeah,
okay.
A new song every month.
That's the way to do it.
So we were constantly in the people's ears, we were constantly on the social media pages and stuff like that, and we built quite a fan base out of that. And now we're putting the album together, but I think the next one will just do a little bit different. But
in terms of how you do the album and how you play together and how you come up with your songs together and make it sound the way you want it to sound, would you say it's a lot of improv, or is there more thought that goes into it, more practice? Is it more precise than what I might think?
I would think it's like a bit of both. Like improv is there, solo wise, everything's improv that side. I don't know. Yeah, at practice we've got like a set sort of structure of how we want to do things on a show and all that. But yeah, everything's pretty just comes naturally in the band.
How do you remember all the notes?
No, that's a natural thing, I guess. That's why we
have all those different songs. That's crazy.
But songwriting, our songs are mainly riff based. I mean, we come up with a cool riff and then we start off from there and then go from there. The melodies for the vocals and stuff, I just fuck around with it and see what I come up with and then go from there.
That's not a bad idea.
I don't know. I don't even know if the lyrics make sense, but they make sense to me in a way. So,
well, because you said you're a new band yourself, just for a wee bit of background. I know you guys aren't men of many words, but just a bit of background on each of you of before Blackbone Nation. Where are you from in music, and how did you end up here playing with this band?
My dad was a musician. He was a bass player. Played in quite big bands in the 70s here in South Africa. He played in a band called Time to Suck. Played with
that's a rock and roll name.
Hardcore.
That explains you.
Yeah, so like my roots are sort of come from blues roots, old school rock and roll, and I grew up with all the old school music, and yeah, that's pretty much.
Cool. Picking up from musical background. Henry, go. What's up, man?
All right. So, I pretty much grew up in a house with Jim Reeves, stuff like that.
That's good music.
It is good music, but at the time, I didn't think so. Obviously, my dad listened to it quite a lot, but my brother was quite big in the grunge scene. He listened to a lot of Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Pantera, stuff like that, And then, I think I picked up my love for music from him, and bugged my dad for my first drum kit for like 2 years. Couldn't stop asking him for drum kits. Listened to a lot of Metallica at the stage. And yeah, as soon as I got my first drum kit, started practicing.
Playing along to Metallica is
Yeah,
awesome.
That's where it all starts.
that's
usually.
yeah, and
Doesn't-
yeah. So I think that's where it started for most of us, you know. And yeah, from there on, played in a couple of bands. Some of them made it quite far, others not so far. But yeah, where we are now, I think this is one of the bands that we're going to take quite far. You know, we've got a lot of awesome stuff planned, and yeah, we can't wait to see what this journey brings us.
Absolutely. Thank you. LaRue, man of even fewer words.
Yeah, but when the new metal scene came out, everything changed for me. There was a shitty old guitar at home, and I picked that up and started learning that. And from there, it's, you know, that's where my music, I wouldn't say call it career start. My career started with this band because this is my first official band. Before this, it was just, you know, a couple of buddies coming together now and then to
Absolutely.
jam. Yeah.
Je speelt nog steeds kak.
Yeah.
It's good to support each other the way you do. That's always important in a band. In terms of your gig coming up on the 17th, and I know you're all excited about that, it's at Rumors. It's going to be a party. We're going to paint Henry Green. I'm going to be there for that.
He's going to be the Hulk for the day.
Without the muscles, I'm probably going to look like a piece of celery.
Nice.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Since the band is now established, that's actually our first gig, and it's going to be our first EP launch. So we're up at, like, I probably think at 11 with the last band playing.
Hey,
So hey,
awesome.
lots of drunk people.
Drunk people are the best people.
Yeah,
They're the best
there's a
people.
birthday party that day, I think, and it's gonna be St. Paddy's. So there's a tent where everybody's gonna be jamming out and partying.
There's no
It's
better
gonna be
day than
fun.
St. Paddy's Day.
Yeah.
Your new EP that you wrote, of course, tirelessly tirelessly wrote. How would you say? Well, for one, let's start with what it's about, and then let's start with what made you write it.
Well, since we wrote one song a month, it never really took on a whole theme, actually, as an album. You know, we don't really do the whole thing about we give this album name and then we write all the songs in conjunction to that or relative to what the album name is. So everything's about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, pretty much.
So personal experience.
Yeah, getting laid in the backseat of your mom's car, partying. The song that we jammed, Blacked Out, you know, just partying until you drop dead, stuff
Fun.
like that.
Fun. So doing a song a month and having to come up with new material every single month, it takes creativity. And I say this because someone like me would never be able to do that. How would you say you formulate these songs and come to a thought pattern? Or, like you said, you write a song around a riff. Now, lyrically, how do you write a song?
We usually take the riff and then we do the drum part to it so we can get a groove to it. And then I just sing a lot of shit over it to get a melody.
Literally.
And then from there on, if you have the melody, the lyrics kind of can flow from there. I don't think too much about the lyrics. I just let it flow and then edit it until I'm happy with it. And then
That's pretty
how we
interesting
record.
because a lot of people will do the lyrics and write songs and have these books full of songs and then write music around that, which is just a different way of doing it. This is interesting.
It's really yeah. Sometimes it even amazes me because I don't really put thought into the lyrics if I can say it that way, but it comes out from a deeper perspective, I think, or something. It just comes out. Yeah, so it's subconsciously it comes out when I write
That
the
makes
lyrics.
sense.
And then
Does
at
make
the end
sense.
of the day, I look back at the lyrics and I read them back and I'm like, okay, well, fuck, this is actually about this song or about this in my
Yeah.
life, and then I connect it to that. But yeah, subconsciously it comes out, I guess.
Plans for the future? Anything ahead that, besides the EPs, obviously now the big deal for the 17th, what are you looking at doing after that? You look at maybe an album, maybe a music video.
It's rock and roll. You just take it as it comes.
So pretty much the launch of this EP, the self-titled EP Blackbone Nation, is coming out on the 17th of March. We're going to promote that and we're going to start the gigs and stuff. That's actually the thought process behind it. Is we first wanted to release the EP and then start the gigs and have something to market and something to, you know, give to the people.
Absolutely.
But we're currently, like I said earlier, we're already busy with the second EP album. We don't want to release full-length albums, 10, 12 songs, because
Why?
yeah, it takes way too long to do it.
It's
You
true.
lose fans, and as a new or local band, even in South Africa, especially in South Africa, people forget about you after like a few months. Even after 2 or 3 months, people forget about you.
I think after a while, it's just getting lost in a lot of clutter.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
There's so many bands out there. So the next one is also going to be an EP, probably again 6 or 7 tracks or so. But we're already busy with that one. Hopefully we can release it in December. And then in between that, we're busy with another record as well, called Pride and Glory, which we're just doing a bunch of cover songs and stuff. We take like...
You guys jammed a few covers here just in warm-up, which I thought were pretty awesome. We jammed a cover. I played drums with this band.
Paranoid.
I'm looking over here, but it's not seeing me. That one's seeing me. In terms of the name, Blackbone Nation, where, who, why?
I started the band actually down in Cape Town when I lived there. When was this? About 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. Because
Why'd you come here?
I moved from here to Cape Town to go and work, and then I left music completely. I didn't play guitar for like 3 years, didn't do anything. And then one day I said, fuck it. And I sold everything and I came back here to come and do music. That's what I did. Yeah. So I started the band down there, and originally we had a different singer. It was one of my friends that lived with me in the flat, and he was a singer. And it wasn't for him. He's in the army in Germany or something.
Okay.
So it was clearly not for him
or something.
I just brought it with here. There's no real reason behind the name, but we think it's kind of cool. Blackbone Nation. We're building a nation of people like the KISS Army, for instance.
Which is a powerful army.
Yeah, and
but that's also like one of our not trademarks, but our slogan is "Join the Nation." So
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
So
Hashtag the nation.
It's a big family pretty much, because we don't see the guys coming out to the show as fans and we're above them or whatever. We see them more as like family and friends and things.
Absolutely.
So the nation is...
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. That's something cool to stand for.
I'll have a beer with you.
If you could play a show open for a band or collaborate with any band, any group ever, who would it be?
I think we're going to have a few different opinions of you.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because
I think someone should say AC/DC. Someone might mention.
Most definitely, But all of us come from different backgrounds. Brendan's more the rock and roll blues type of vibe. Me and LaRue are into the heavy shit,
Okay.
We listen to stuff, and then after that, people come knocking on your door.
That happens to me too. It's okay.
Yeah.
Lamb of God.
I think we have a lot in common. Okay, good music.
Music. We listen to a lot of heavy stuff, so you'll definitely hear some heavy influences in the music as well, especially from the rhythm section. And but AC/DC would be fantastic. I mean, that's one of the greatest rock bands in the world, one of the biggest bands.
Yeah, and that is when we do radio interviews and things like that. That is the thing that people compare us to mostly is but a heavier version of AC/DC.
But you've got a vocal style that's sort of, I think it's very operatic. So it sort of doesn't sound like, but you can hear the influence from like AC/DC, KISS. I don't know. That's what it's called, an operatic vocal style.
I love like 80s music, like glam metal and stuff like that, like Rat and Cinderella and bands like that. So that's where I come from.
Old school, like
like kind of those kinds of bands and things.
This is interesting, and this should end well.
It mixes well at
you
the
can
end.
go
I
up
think,
stage,
so.
and you guys would be just wearing black, and he'll come out with a leather jacket studded to the brim.
I'm missing the hair, dude.
Yeah, like a purple frohawk or something. Okay. If you could play any venue, for that matter, and once again, I'm talking about here. If you could play any venue around the world, where'd you play?
Rock am Ring.
Don't say Wembley Stadium.
Yes.
Rock am Ring, definitely. I think that is one of the biggest shows. If you've played there, then you've pretty much made it, I think.